I can't do this anymore, Ethan. I looked up from my laptop. Do what? This life, this struggle. The ramen nights, the secondhand furniture, the constant waiting for your breakthrough. I'm tired. I stared at her. Emily, we talked about this. We said we'd build everything together. That was before I realized how long building actually takes. She folded her arms, her suitcase already packed and standing by the door. So that's it? You're just walking out. She didn't answer. Just glanced at her phone. Lucas is waiting downstairs. Lucas, my voice cracked. Lucas Hart. She nodded, not even ashamed. He believes in me. He sees potential in me. I didn't. You saw comfort, Ethan. You saw a partner to suffer with. He sees someone who deserves better. My hands were trembling. We've been together for 4 years. I know. She picked up the keys from the counter and placed them gently beside the coffee maker. And for 3 of them, I believed in your dream. You said you loved me. I did. She shrugged. But love doesn't pay the bills. So it was all a transaction for years for a better deal. That's not fair, isn't it? I stepped toward her. I stayed up nights building code. You stayed up with me. You cried with me when investors ghosted me. And now you just switch sides because someone richer showed up. He's not just rich. He's successful. He's what you're trying to become. My throat burned. You never even gave me time. You had time, Ethan. You just didn't have momentum. Then why didn't you just say you were leaving me for someone else? Why dress it up like some tragic self-growth monologue? Because I didn't want to hurt you. I laughed bitterly. Oh, congratulations! You nailed that. She looked at me for a long second. I didn't expect you to understand. No, of course not. Understanding is for equals, not for the guy you just left behind like expired milk. That's not save it. I cut her off. Just go. Her hand hovered on the doorknob. One day you'll see I made the right choice. I shook my head. No, Emily. One day I'll see I was lucky you left. She didn't respond. Just opened the door, walked out, and closed it behind her. No slam, no hesitation. Just finality. I stood there in the silence, waiting for the pain to hit. It did. Hours passed. I didn't eat, didn't move. I stared at the wall like it might offer me answers. My phone buzzed once. A text from Josh. You good, man? I ignored it. Midnight came. I finally crawled into bed, but it felt too big without her. Her side still smelled like lavender and betrayal. I buried my face in the pillow and let it all out. No pride, no noise. Just quiet, desperate sobs. Why wasn't I enough? I whispered into the dark. I didn't have an answer. The next morning, I opened the fridge and stared blankly. Leftover noodles. Half a bottle of Coke. Nothing real. It's kind of like our relationship in the end. Josh called again. I didn't pick up. I sat down at my desk, staring at the half-finished code I'd abandoned. The night before, my fingers hovered over the keyboard, but I couldn't type. What was the point? Then I heard her voice again in my head. He's what you're trying to become. Something snapped. I opened a new file. Clean slate. I titled it, Begin Again. I started typing. Code poured out like venom, like therapy. I didn't stop for hours. I didn't eat. I didn't cry again. I didn't even blink if she wanted the rich guy. She could have him, but I'd build something. Bigger, not for her. For me. For the me she didn't think was enough. And that's when it happened. That was the moment I stopped being the man she left. That was the day I became someone else. Dude, when's the last time you showered? I blinked at Josh, slumped on my couch in the same hoodie for days. Tuesday or maybe Thursday? Time's not real. He wrinkled his nose. It's Sunday, Ethan. You smell like defeat and burnt noodles. Sounds about right, he tossed. A bag of takeout onto my coffee table. Eat something. And not another cup of salty sadness. I'm not hungry. You haven't been hungry in weeks, I muttered. Neither was she. Guess we both lost our appetite. Josh groaned. Okay, look, I get it. She broke you. But you've got to stop turning your apartment into a grief dungeon. I glanced at the empty ramen cups stacked beside my monitor. They're part of the architecture now. He sat beside me, elbows on knees. You've been off work for 3 weeks. Your startup's on life support. You haven't answered half your emails. Why bother? I said. Nobody's interested except you. You used to care. I used to have a reason to. Josh leaned in. Emily wasn't your purpose, man. She was just part of your story. She was my partner. She left, remember? I remember everything. I looked at the mug on my desk, the one she bought from that street market. Still chipped, still hers. I see her everywhere. Then stopped looking. I didn't answer. Just grabbed the cup and shoved it in a drawer. Josh let out a breath. Okay, small win. Proud of you. I laughed under my breath. You sound like a therapist, 'cause you need one. Or a punching bag. Or both. Silence settled for a moment. Then he asked, do you miss her? Yes, I whispered. Do you miss you? That one hit harder. I didn't reply. He clapped his hands. Right? Enough pity. Get up. Why? 'Cause you're showering. And then we're going to the store. For what? More noodles? For real food? For air? For life, Ethan. I shook my head. I'm not ready. You don't need to be. You just need to move. He stood, walked to the window, pulled the curtains wide open. Light exploded into the room like it hadn't visited in days. Jesus, I squinted. That's aggressive. Good. Let the sun judge you. I rubbed my face. What if I never? Bounce back. Josh sat down again, more serious this time. Then I'll keep showing up until you do. I looked at him, really looked at him. My best friend, still here, still fighting for someone I barely recognized in the mirror. Thanks. I said quietly. He shrugged. What are friends for if not dragging your sorry ass out of hell? I finally stood up, legs stiff, brain heavier than my body. Fine, shower, food, maybe even air. That's the spirit. And Josh, yeah? Could we not talk about her anymore today? He smiled. Deal. But tomorrow, I'm burning that hoodie. Fair. Ethan, are you still awake? I looked up. Josh stood in the doorway, holding a coffee in each hand. Have I slept? He laughed. You look like a haunted raccoon. I'm coding. You've been coding for 3 days, 36 hours. Still not healthy. Spy handed me a coffee. This your new coping mechanism. I needed to stop thinking, so I started building. Josh sat on the couch, opened a pizza box, and said, what are we building? I pointed to my screen. An AI that rewrites marketing content for startups instantly. Personalized, platform-ready, scalable, he chewed. Slowly, in English, please. An AI that writes ads better than humans. I'm calling it Nixira. Catchy, sounds expensive. Right now, it's just sleep deprivation and hope. Josh nodded. I'm in. You don't even know if it works. You need backing. I have savings. You sure? You're a bartender. I'm your best friend. And this is the first time I've seen you alive since Emily left. I stared at him, then back at the screen. Okay, let's build it. Weeks blurred. Caffeine replaced blood. My code grew. Nexera started responding like a real assistant. Josh tested the UI while I fine-tuned the backend. We pitched the beta to small clients. One bit dot, then another dot, then. Nothing for weeks until the email came. Holy effin'. Read this. What is it, Mr. Raymond? Angel investor. Says he read our pitch. Wants a meeting. I froze. No way. Josh grinned. Way. The conference room was colder than I expected. I tapped my pen against the folder on the table while Josh paced behind me. I'm going to puke, he muttered. Please don't. This table looks expensive. The door opened. Tall man in his 50s walked in. Gray suit, confident stride. Ethan Carter. I stood. Yes, sir? Mr. Raymond. He sat down, flipped open our pitch deck, and said, talk. I launched into the concept. The pain. Behind the idea, the data, the traction. My voice shook at first, but then steadied. Raymond didn't blink. Listened. When I finished, he leaned back. You built this alone? Mostly. Josh helped with testing. He looked at me hard. You've got grit. Thank you. I like the product, but I invest in people, not code. I swallowed. I won't waste your money. I know because I'm not offering a handout. I'm offering a bet. Terms. I wire you 50 grand next week. Do you give me 10% equity? You keep your foot on the gas. Josh whispered. Take it. I nodded. Deal. Raymond stood. Good. But one thing, don't let your past get in the way. I won't. You'd be surprised how often it does. Door clicked behind him. Josh grinned. We're in. No, I said, staring at the signed agreement. We're just getting started. 6 months later, Nexora had an office, 10 clients, and a small but fierce team. I didn't sleep much. I didn't party. I didn't check Emily's Instagram anymore. Her silence used to haunt me. Now it fueled me until I walked into a quarterly partner meeting and saw her, Emily, sitting at the conference table, flipping through a folder like she belonged there. Josh leaned in. That's her, right? I didn't answer. She looked up, her eyes widened. Ethan. My jaw tightened. Miss Brooks. Her lips parted like she wanted to say something. I turned to Mr. Raymond. Let's get started. Dude, you're not going to believe this. Josh barged into my office, waving a piece of paper like it was on fire. What is it? I asked, barely looking up from my screen. He dropped the resume in front of me. I read the name at the top, Emily Brooks. I froze. Tell me it's a different Emily, I muttered. Nope, same one. She applied for the marketing assistant role. I blinked, then laughed. That's rich. Josh raised an eyebrow. You okay? Yeah, I said. Better than okay. This is poetic. Apparently Lucas Hart's company tanked after that crypto crash. He fled to Dubai. She's jobless now. I leaned back, still staring at her name. So now she wants my help. Delete it. Karma already did the heavy lifting. No, I said slowly. Let her come in. Josh squinted. Seriously? I want to see her face. He crossed his arms. That's dark. I'm not doing anything. Just offering an interview. He paused. You sure this isn't about revenge? Course it is. He laughed once. All right, I'll schedule her. The day of the interview, I wore my sharpest suit. Not for her. For the power shift. Josh knocked on my door. She's here. Send her in. Emily stepped into the room like a shadow from another life. Ethan, she breathed. Miss Brooks, I said, keeping my voice cool. Have a seat. She sat, hands folded tightly in her lap. Her eyes searched mine. You run Nexera. I built it. Her voice was quiet. Didn't know. You do now. A pause. I didn't come here expecting, let's talk about your qualifications. I interrupted. Tell me about your experience. She flinched, then nodded. I worked with Lucas's startup and brand outreach, managed campaigns, created content funnels, helped land 3 major clients before. Everything fell apart. Why did it fall apart? Crypto crash. Bad decisions? He disappeared. Left us unpaid. I tapped my pen against the desk. And now you need work. She hesitated. Yes. Why Nexera? She swallowed because it's solid, real smart, and you're careful. I said sharply. She looked away. I leaned forward. You walked out on me without a word. Left me with nothing. I made a mistake. Yeah, you did. She whispered, I thought he could give me what I wanted. And what did you want? Security, a future. But it wasn't real. I let silence hang in the room. Then I said, you'll start Monday. Entry level. No favors. You'll earn everything. Her eyes widened. You're hiring me. I want to see you work your way back up, brick by brick, Ethan, we're done here. She stood slowly. Thank you. For what? For not slamming the door. I gave her a cold smile. Oh, the door's open. Just don't mistake it for forgiveness. The door creaked open, and there she was, wearing a cheap blazer 2 sizes too big and trembling lips that barely held a smile. Ethan. She whispered, eyes wide like she'd seen a ghost. CEO Carter, I corrected, without blinking. She froze, then nodded quickly, clutching her resume like it was a life vest. I thank you for seeing me. Take a seat. She sat, knees tight, hands trembling as she offered the paper across the table. I already reviewed it, I said, not touching it. Let's talk. She cleared her throat. I know this is awkward. But I just wanted to say we're here to discuss your experience, I interrupted flatly. Not your regrets. Her lips parted, then closed again. Of course, she muttered. Right? My experience? I let the silence stretch. I wanted her to feel it. I worked at Heart Tech as a marketing coordinator. She started, eyes darting to mine. I managed 3 product campaigns and developed a brand relaunch strategy. How did that go? I asked. It didn't launch. Lucas froze all assets 2 days before, and then he vanished. She nodded, shame coloring her cheeks. Yes, I folded my arms. Why apply here? She hesitated. Because I know Nexira is real, stable, smart, and because I believe I can add value. I raised a brow. Do you? I do. After abandoning a solid relationship for a fantasy, you now believe in stability. Her face crumbled slightly. Ethan, I said, we're not talking about the past. I stared at her, empty. Don't. Her voice cracked. I made a mistake, I know. I thought he could offer more. He did for a while, but it wasn't real. I leaned back, arms still folded. And now you want real. Yes. You think showing up here fixes anything? No. But I'm trying what? To find a paycheck or forgiveness. Both. Maybe, she admitted softly. But I'm not here for pity. I need this job. And I'm willing to earn it. Her voice was shaky, but her eyes held a flicker of the old fire. I hated that I recognized it. What exactly do you think you can offer Nexira? I asked. Strategy, insight, grit. She said quickly, I've failed. That teaches you things? Not always, I said. Sometimes it just breaks you. I'm not broken, she whispered. I stood and walked to the window. Why didn't you tell me you were unhappy? I didn't know how. No, you just didn't want to face it. You're right. I turned back to her. You left without looking back. I did. You shattered me. I know. I stared at her. Pale, nervous, smaller than I remembered. I should tear this resume in half. She nodded. I wouldn't blame you. But I won't. Her eyes met mine. Why not? Because watching you rebuild yourself here under me, that's better than revenge. She flinched. I sat down again. If you want this job, you'll start as an assistant. No privileges. No shortcuts. I understand. You'll answer to Claire. She doesn't like shortcuts either. I can handle it. Can you handle seeing me every day? She hesitated. Can you? I said nothing. Do I have the job? She asked softly. You have a shot. She stood slowly. Thank you. For what? For not destroying me. I narrowed my eyes. I'm not done deciding. She nodded and turned toward the door. One more thing, Kai said. She looked back. If you ever pull what you did again, walk out. Kai? Manipulate, I won't give you a second look. You won't have to. The door clicked shut behind her, and I sat there, heart a little too loud in the quiet. I could have crushed her, but I didn't. I just watched, blank, unreadable. She's in. I said it without blinking. Josh raised a brow. You serious? I didn't stutter. He leaned against my office wall. You gave her the job? After everything. I gave her a shot. With conditions? What kind? She reports to Claire. No special treatment. No contact unless it's work-related. Josh crossed his arms. You're playing with fire. I'm not playing anything, Bull. You're curious? You want to watch her drown? I didn't answer. Maybe he was right. Maybe not. Claire walked in that afternoon like a storm in heels. You assigned Emily Brooks to me. She asked bluntly. Yes? Why? She applied. I hired. Claire narrowed her eyes. I don't babysit. She doesn't need babysitting. Just structure. She'll get it. If she cracks, she's gone. I expect nothing less. Claire turned to leave, then paused. You sure this isn't personal? It's business, I said. She didn't believe me. No one did. The next day, I watched through the glass as Emily followed Claire across the floor. Notebook in hand, face pale. Claire didn't even slow her stride. By noon, Emily had already messed up a calendar sync. Claire's voice cut through the hallway. Try that again, and this time don't waste my time. I looked away. She tried once to knock on my office door. I ignored it at the coffee station. She waited behind me. Hi, she said quietly. I didn't turn. You should be working. I just wanted don't. She stepped back. Every day after that, she kept her distance. Filing documents, copying notes, fetching coffee like a ghost in her own skin. Josh caught me watching her once. You getting your revenge fix? He asked. It's not revenge, I replied. He scoffed. Could have fooled me. She chose her path. And now she's walking it in flats and clearance blazers. She's lucky I didn't slam the door. She's also working. Quietly. No complaints. She's not doing me favors. I didn't say she was. I said nothing. He left it alone. Claire stopped by on Friday. She's learning, she said. Too slow? No. Just careful. Like someone scared to breathe wrong? She should be. Claire shrugged. She's got potential. But if she brings drama, she won't. She better not. I walked past the break room that afternoon. Emily sat alone, stirring tea that had gone cold. She didn't see me. Or maybe she did and just didn't look up. I kept walking. By week 3. She was filing reports and handling client decks. Efficient, quiet. She bumped into me once near the elevator. I'm trying, she whispered. I didn't stop walking. Josh shook his head later. You're Iceman. I gave her the job. And you buried her in silence. She earned that silence. Or maybe you're just scared. Of what? Feeling something again. I didn't answer that night. I stayed late. She passed my office, thinking I'd gone. Her voice cracked through the hallway. Lear must have pushed her hard. I'm fine, she told herself. I'm fine. You made your bed. Lie in it. Then silence. I didn't move. I just listened. No tears, just the quiet echo of someone trying not to break. And I won't lie, felt like justice. I found her in the break room at 9:43 p.m. She didn't hear me come in. Her back was to me. Shoulders trembling, hands gripping the counter like it was the only thing holding her together. Emily. I asked, stiff. She turned quickly, eyes red. Mascara smeared. Oh, sorry. I didn't know anyone was here. I hesitated. Are you okay? She laughed, bitter and shaky. That's a stupid question. I didn't mean no. I'm not okay, she said, voice cracking. I'm a mess, Ethan. I don't even know who I am anymore. You don't have to explain? Yes, I do. She wiped her face with the sleeve of her blazer. You should hate me. I don't. You should, she insisted. I left you for someone with money and charm and zero soul. And now he's gone. I stayed near the doorway. Lucas left, she said flatly. Took the last of our savings and moved to Dubai. Didn't even say goodbye. Just an email I heard. Everyone has. That's why you hired me, right? Watch me crawl. I hired you because you applied. Don't do that, she snapped. Don't act like you don't feel anything. I folded my arms. What do you want me to say? She stepped forward. Say you hate me. Say you want me to fail. I don't want anything from you. Liar. I stared at her. Go home. Get some rest. We've got a client meeting at 9. I lost everything, she whispered. My apartment, my savings, my pride. But losing you? That broke me the most. I didn't move. You were the only one who believed in me, who saw something real. Don't do this, I said sharply. Her voice shook. You loved me so much it scared me. That's why I ran. Clenched my jaw, then congratulations. You made it out. It was a mistake, she whispered. I'm not interested in your regrets. I'm not asking for forgiveness. Could because I don't have any to give. Silence. Her eyes filled again, but no tears fell. I don't want to be this person anymore, she said. I want to earn back who I was. That's not my problem. It should have been us, she said quietly. You and me, not him. I turned toward the door, Ethan. Stopped. I miss you. I closed my eyes. Every part of me wanted to scream, then why did you leave? Why did you rip me in half and walk away like I didn't matter? But I said none of that. I said, get some rest. There's a meeting at 9, and I walked out my hands didn't stop shaking until I got to my car. She knocked gently. Come in, I said. Without looking up, the door creaked open. I recognized her perfume before I saw her face. Do you have a minute? She asked. I leaned back in my chair. For work or something else? Her voice was quiet. Something else. I gestured to the seat across from me. Go ahead. She sat, fingers twisting in her lap. I didn't know how to say this, or if I even should. You're saying it now. I don't want your money. I raised an eyebrow. I don't want the job or favors or pity, she added. I just want you. I let the words hang between us. I spent months trying to forget you, I said. Every time I thought I was fine, your ghost showed up again. I deserve that, she whispered. I do. I built this company from nothing. I clawed my way back, alone. I know. Right. I don't think you do, I said. You left. When everything was falling apart, you didn't just walk away from Moo, walked away from the version of me that needed you most. Her voice cracked. I thought I was choosing stability. Ooh, you chose the illusion of it, and it crumbled. Nodded. So did I, but I rebuilt. She looked down. I kept checking your socials, watching your interviews. You looked happy. I wasn't, but you are now. I thought for a moment, I'm stronger now. Not happy, just whole. Tears formed in her eyes. I still love you, Ethan. K. Emily, I know I hurt you. I know I don't deserve another chance. But I had to say it. I had to try. I leaned forward. Do you know what hurts more than being left? She shook her head, being looked at like an option until everything else fails. That's not what this is, isn't it? She blinked hard. Then say goodbye. Mean it, not with silence, not with avoidance. Say it. I looked at her for a long time. That face I used to kiss every morning. Those eyes I once memorized. Like scripture. I already did, I said softly. She closed her eyes, tears spilling. I wish I could go back, she whispered. I don't, I replied. Because if I did, I'd still be the man who begged you to stay. Silence. She stood slowly. Then I'll go. I didn't move. Her hand touched the doorknob. Emily. She turned, hopeful. Take care of yourself, I said. She smiled faintly. You too. The door clicked shut behind her, and for the first time in a long time, I exhaled. I opened my laptop at 7:48 a.m., one unread email. Subject, resignation, no explanation. No drama, just 2 lines. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm stepping down. Effective immediately. Emily Brookside stared at the screen for a long time. Then I looked up. Her desk was already empty. No mug, no sweater. No picture frame, just gone. I stepped to the window and watched the front doors. She walked out in a gray coat. No suitcase, no heels. Just flats and silence. She didn't look back. Hey, Josh's voice came from behind. He handed me a coffee, you saw? Yeah, was fast? She made her decision. He leaned against the wall. Closure. I took a sip. Better. Peace. He studied me. You okay? I didn't yell at her. I didn't fire her. Didn't make a scene. Nope, you just sat back and watched. I didn't destroy her, Josh. Life did that. I just happened to be in the room. Still, must have felt good, right? I looked out at the city. No, not good, just done. He let out a breath. Damn, I thought you'd be popping. Champagne? I used to dream about revenge, about her crying in front of me, begging. But now, I don't even feel like I won anything. You didn't need to. She looked small, tired, like she hadn't slept in weeks. She probably hasn't. I didn't recognize her. Not the same girl you loved. No, and I'm not the same guy she left. Josh shook his head. You built an empire. You didn't throw stones. You just rose higher. I wanted to scream at her so many times. I wanted to ask her why she left, why she picked someone else. And I never did. I let her carry it. Colder than any scream, maybe? Or maybe it's just grown up. Josh raised his cup to peace. Then I clinked mine against his. To peace. We stood in silence. A knock came at the door. Claire peeked in. She's gone. Yeah, I said. She didn't even say goodbye. She wasn't here for that. Claire stepped in, arms folded. Can I be honest? Always. She was never going to make it here. I know she didn't belong. She tried, Claire scoffed. She flinched every time someone raised their voice. She second-guessed herself in every meeting. She was trying to be someone she wasn't. Or someone she used to. Claire looked at me. Are you mad at her? I paused. No. Good, she said, because if you were, I'd tell you to let it go. She's gone. We're still here. She left without another word. Josh looked at me. Even Claire's. Philosophical today. I think everyone saw it coming. She came in broken. Hoped this place would fix her. But this place isn't a rehab center. Nope, it's a war zone with snacks. I laughed. Pretty much, Josh tapped the rim of his cup. So what now? I walked back to my desk. Now I go back. To building? You don't want to take a day. Breathe a little. I've been holding my breath for 2 years. I think I'm finally breathing now. He smiled. All right then, boss. He walked out. Leaving me alone with the hum of the office, I opened my to-do list, rebranded a pitch deck, sent an investor update, approved Ox mock-up by lunch. I'd forgotten about her. Almost around 3 p.m., I found her old company badge in the drawer. I stared at it. Emily Brooks, marketing assistant. I tossed it in the shred bin. Josh passed by my door again. Coming to the rooftop later, maybe. Good. Don't stay in here brooding. That's how Batman villains are born. I laughed. Noted. By 6 p.m., the office began to empty. I stood by the window again. Same view, different feeling. I didn't feel bitter. I didn't feel powerful. I just felt light, like the weight had finally rolled off my chest and disappeared. I thought about the day she left me, how I collapsed on the floor, gasping, how I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, how I kept reading her last text over and over like it was a funeral eulogy. And now she walked out. And I didn't chase her, didn't beg, didn't break. I just watched and let go. Maybe that's what power really is. Not control, not revenge. But peace. I turned off the light and stepped out of my office, Josh. Was right. Peace tastes better than revenge, and I was finally free.